Good evening. My name is Sophia Hill. For this assignment for our TEL 310 class, Instructional Strategy presentation, I chose to do my presentation on the instructional strategy Think, Pair, Share, also known as TPS. Think, Pair, Share is an instructional strategy that involves students thinking independently, collaborating and discussing with a partner, and then sharing the ideas to the class as a whole. This strategy can be implemented through grades K through 12 and can be used in any subject. This makes it very able to be used in the classroom as it can be applied to quite literally anything and is easy to get creative with. Instructions. If you were wanting to apply the Think, Pair, Share strategy to your classroom, first you would begin by asking a question about a problem or assigned reading. It is important to give quiet time for students to think independently, as some students cannot think without quietness, and this also encourages them from getting off track or losing focus. Then you would instruct students to pair up with a partner to discuss and share their answers. Then you would call on pairs one by one to share their answers. As previously said, this strategy can be used in any subject. An example in reading is, who's the antagonist and why? Students could read a paragraph and then discuss who's the antagonist or protagonist and then discuss why. What have they done wrong or what have they done good? How are they the hero? How are they the villain? This can also be used in science. What are three things we need to survive? There are many things in society and in the world that human beings need to survive. So students being able to think on their own and then discuss with their partner what they believe is important and capable. An example in math is build an equation that equals to zero. There are numerous rules in math and infinite numbers and equations to equal an equation that equals to zero. So each student is able to think of their own and then share with the partner. Tips. Each phases of Think Pair Share should be 2 to 5 minutes. This optimizes student engagement and encourages deep processing while also staying efficient. The think phase being 1 to 3 minutes allows students to not rush and think and process independently and recall their information from long term. This is not something that could be done in 30 seconds or 60 seconds if it wants to be done properly. And pair, this is also important that it's done in 2 to 5 minutes because it allows students to understand and really process and recognize what their partner is saying. And it also builds their confidence when discussing with each other. The 2 to 5 minutes allow these students to feel more comfortable discussing with one another and recognizing other people's work and ideas before sharing to the class as a whole. This also is short enough to prevent off-topic discussion. So students in if the discussion or the time limit would become too long, they could get off track or off focus. It's also important that the 2 to 5 minutes and the share thing because it maximizes participation and everyone has already said their answer. And so students are able to contribute and they're able to be confident. And this is also time efficient. At max, this instructional strategy would be 15 minutes and ideally it would take anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes. It also allows for teacher feedback. This is enough time for us as the instructor to hear all these viewpoints and address the problems or misconceptions. The pros, it is also important to be sensitive when creating pairs. Every student learns differently, so students that think higher or have more problems with attention or language skills. You wouldn't want to put an English language learner with a high English speaking student where they might have difficulty connecting with one another. It is also important to ask their students to write their answer when working independently. This is just a tip because it ensures that students recognize what they are saying and have their answer solidified and truly feel confident in what they want to say. The pros of TPS are that it builds communication skills. Students are working with another and being respectful and learning how to collaborate and really understand what their partner is saying before sharing with the class. This also encourages engagements and critical thinking. As students are thinking independently, and realizing that they have to share this answer to the class after, they're truly paying attention and recalling from their long-term memory or what they've just learned and preparing to share it with the class. This also further helps reduce anxiety. Lots of students with speaking anxiety or sharing anxiety or just social anxiety, by speaking with a partner first and having a partner to essentially lean on, it helps them feel more comfortable when it comes time to share with the class. The cons of this, as we previously discussed, the tips that can help balance these cons, is it can lead to off-topic discussion. This is why a tip is for each phase to be 2 to 5 minutes. And it can also be time consuming. Another tip, which is why the TPS should be 2 to 5 minutes long. These cons can be managed to still make this instructional strategy useful and important in the classroom. In the bottom right corner, I have an image that shows a student thinking independently, a pair, which are these two students collaborating together, and then finally a student sharing with the class. In the bottom left corner, I have all my links for the research I've conducted. Thank you so much. I cannot wait to see the rest of your guys' presentations.